For this week's trail guide, I check out Aston Hill Bike Park. So today we're going to Aston Hill, which is just outside Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire. If you're not familiar with Aston Hill, it's a bit of an old spot. Predominantly it started off as, I suppose, a downhill venue. There's a 4-cross track there, there's a few different downhill tracks there, also a bit of a trail centre loop there. Today I think we're going to go and check out a bit of everything. Part of the loop is incorporated into some of the downhill runs, and then there's quite an easy push up or ride back up. If you've got an enduro bike, you can ride it back up. Probably about 20 minutes to ride back up, or a push up 20-25 minutes, something like that. So it's not too bad. What we'll do today is we're going to show you all the different downhill runs, all the different grades and types of runs. There's a few jumpy, flowy runs, there's sort of more steep, technical downhill runs, some rooty runs. So without further ado, we'll crack on and get there. Little drops in this one. This is the first drop. As you can see, you can just roll it, nothing major. There is a chicken run just to the right there for you. If you don't fancy it, you can go around it. Just like this chap is there, you see, nice and easy. This is the second step up to drop. It's actually a smaller drop, but I think it's deceiving. I think people think it's a bigger one, but here we go. And again, there's a couple of chicken runs here. You've got a cool little one here with a little S-bend in it and a smaller drop, so you can train on it or you can go straight through the middle. This is the bottom of surface to air. A couple of little jumps. One on the inside here is obviously slow and low, and then there's a bit of a kicker there. You actually don't need that much speed on the big one. It does boost you up quite nicely and sends you down a nice big left-hander hip. The secret to carrying this speed is landing these like step up hip landings. Everyone always comes on the inside and they land flat because they're scared. I think they're gonna case it or something. But as the day goes by, if you are not too confident on your jumping, you slowly progress higher and higher up this landing, because the higher and higher up these hipped landings you land, the more speed you can carry through. So that's the track they call surface to air. Hope that gives you an idea of what it's like and what you can expect. Let's go back to the top and try another one. Classic high-low line here. Obviously the low line looks like it's the easiest and the high line looks quite scary, but it's not at all. You pop up onto that high line, onto those high roots, and then it sets you up for the next corner perfectly. Here you come to a bit of a root garden. There's loads of roots. I'm not sure if you can pick them up there on the camera. And not that tree there. You're aiming for that gap there. Now I've come down here before in the wet, and you can get sucked down there. That's not where you want to go. Just stay high, look at that gap, and don't stop looking at that gap, and you should be fine. Hopefully that was a pretty good demonstration. As you can see, it's not very steep, but quite rooty, and some cool line choices. This is a little jump to flat that you have. There's a couple of these throughout the track on root canal, and as you can see, the best line again is to stay left and stay high. I think Kai's mint on a hardtail. Fair play to him. So yeah, as I was saying, as we saw then, you want to stay left and just stay high up on these roots here. What you don't want to do is get sucked down here, but then you're only heading for that tree, and then you're on the brakes trying to miss it and getting back up. Tell you a little story about Aston Hill. Quite funny. Again, on 15-20 years ago, there was this little kid. I don't know how old he was, probably about 13, maybe a bit younger, maybe a bit older. But this young little kid, and he's got an orange Patriot. And he's pretty quick. He's riding, I don't know what 13 is, that juvenile, youth, something like that. He's pretty quick. In fact, he's really quick, he's good. Everywhere he went though, his dad was there. When I was racing, when I was sort of around his age and doing downhill racing in the 90s and stuff, my dad, his philosophy was, you got the bike down the hill, you get the bike back up the hill. I ain't pushing it up for you. See, some of the dads on the circuit, they'd push their kids' bikes up. Anyway, this one particular kid, like I say, 13, he's pretty quick, and he's got his orange Patriot. And every race, his dad would always push his bike back up the track. And he'd walk up with his drinks bottle, looking at the track, looking at line choices, seeing where he'd just been, And fair enough, it's one of those things. Anyway, he was here at Aston Hill, he was doing a race, And every race run, every practice run, he got to the bottom of the track and his dad would push him back up for him, and he'd just walk up and wouldn't push at all. So I remember saying to him, he was walking through the car park, he was at the top of the thing, and I said to his dad, and his young lad was there, just like having a bit of banter, I said, if you spoil him like that, nothing will ever come of him. I said, you keep pushing his bike up, you're just going to spoil him. I said, you need to make him work for it, nothing will ever come of him, you know. Guess who that kid was? Go on, have a guess. Yeah. Only rainbow jersey winning Danny Hart, the red cart rocket himself, one of the fastest downhill racers ever to have lived. I could say he was only a kid then. And come to think of it, I know shit. Don't know why anyone listens to me. The first main feature that you come to where you've got to think about line choice is this one here. As you can see, there's a couple of big routes here. These aren't the problem, but as you come across the route, it opens up and you've got a line choice down here that a lot of people take, and the best line choice, what I think, is just left of this little tree here. So you've probably seen on that run, I popped up, stayed high and went straight along down there. I've often thought that maybe you could carry your speed a bit more going low, but I think you have to lose so much speed to get into it, you kind of knock yourself off balance, so it's just better to stay high. The XE loop of the red run goes off to the left, and the black run sort of goes straight on to the right. Whoa! Right, next section to think about. This has opened up loads since the last time I came down. The track used to just run down here to the right, but now this high line has opened up where you sort of come off this route here and jump between these two trees, and that obviously sets you up lovely into this turn. Do I have a go at it, or do I stick on the main path? Let's have a little go at it. Yes! These are what they, I think, used to call the old Rob Warner S's. And then you've got the black run, rock garden, which they purposely put this in. I'm trying to think how long ago it was. I remember when they were doing it, a few years back now. Now the thing with this rock garden is, I've never been able to find the right line through it. I always seem to just bounce my way through and just end up any old how. So that's the black run. The bottom section is just a very natural, rooty sort of old school sort of track. Couple of steep sections in it, and then a little bit of an awkward drop at the end. So yeah, I was going to show you the red run, but on that last run down the black, I got a bit of a slow puncture. It's getting quite late in the day now, it's 4 o'clock, so I thought rather than change it and then go down again just to show you the red, and then start to run out of daylight. Gonna call it a day. But I hope that gives you a good idea of what you can expect here at Aston Hill. It shows you the 4 main tracks and a good view of, you know, the features and what you can expect. There's a little bit for everybody. Like I say, it is definitely more a downhill / free ride park. There's people here today in hardtails and all manner of bikes and all manner of abilities. As usual, it's a case of look before you leap, check everything out, and you know, if you're unsure, just take it easy. So yes, we'll call it a day. Hope you liked that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and as always, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Take care, bye.